So here is the detailed background on the Walmart Mexico corruption scandal on the year 2012. The Walmart Mexico bribery scandal was a major corporate corruption case that surfaced in the year 2012, revealing how Walmart de Mexico, or Walmex, allegedly used bribes to expand rapidly across Mexico. This scandal exposed corporate misconduct, failures in governance, and weaknesses in anti-corruption compliance. The origins of the scandal is from the year 2005 and 2006. In 2005, a former Walmart de Mexico executive Sergio Cicera Zapata blew the whistle, informing Walmart's legal department that the company had engaged in systematic bribery. He detailed how Walmart paid off Mexican government officials to first is obtain construction permits quickly, second is bypass zoning regulations, and third is the speed up environmental impact approvals. Lastly is the suppress oppositions from local communities. The bribes reportedly totaled in $24 million and helped Walmart dominate the Mexican retail market. International response and cover-up was on 2006 and 2007. Walmart's US leadership launched an internal investigation but halted in 2006. Instead of reporting to authorities, the company handed the probe to Walmex executives. Some of them were implicated in the bribe. Walmex quickly cleared itself of wrongdoing, and Walmart's U.S. headquarters chose not to escalate the matter to the regulators like the SEC and or DOJ. However, on the 2012, the New York Times investigation, specifically in April 2012, the New York Times published an explosive report after conducting an in-depth investigation. Their findings revealed that Walmart executives in Mexico had created a secret fund for bribes. They used third-party intermediaries to disguise illegal payments. Moreover, Walmart's US headquarters had ignored multiple red flags over the years. This expose triggered a public and legal crisis for Walmart, leading to government investigations in both Mexico and the United States.
Next, let us discuss first analyzing Walmart's governance structure. So, effective corporate governance is essential to ensure ethical practices, transparency, and accountability in any organization. Walmart's governance structure, however, demonstrated significant weaknesses, especially in the context of the bribery scandal that tarnished its reputation. This analysis delves into the key issues related to board composition, the distribution of responsibilities, and conflicts of interest within the company's governance framework. So, first is the board of directors, which has a lack of robust oversight. Walmart's board of directors comprise experienced professionals, which should have been a strength. However, its structure was marred by two key weaknesses: lack of diversity and insufficient independence. The CEO's close involvement in board matters compromised the board's ability to provide unbiased oversight, as it blurred the lines between executive management and board governance. Additionally, the board failed to enforce robust oversight mechanisms or ethical compliance standards, leaving the organization vulnerable to ethical lapses, such as the bribery scandal. This failure to act as an effective check and balance system contributed to Walmart's governance vulnerabilities. Second is the management. Walmart's management prioritized aggressive growth strategies, including rapid expansion into international markets. While this approach boasted the company's global presence. It came at a significant ethical cost. Management disregarded core governance principles by ignoring or downplaying signs of misconduct, including bribery. The pursuit of profits over principles led to an erosion of ethical practices, further compounded by senior executives' ability to suppress internal reports of wrongdoing. This demonstrates a misalignment between Walmart's stated ethical commitments and its operational priorities. Third is the shareholders. So, as key stakeholders, were left in the dark during the bribery scandal. Walmart's failure to communicate transparently about the issue reflected a lack of accountability and undermined shareholder trust. The company's inadequate reporting on such a critical matter not only violated principles of corporate governance but also exposed the risk associated with withholding information from shareholders. This lack of openness hindered shareholders' ability to assess and respond to the unfolding crisis effectively. So, Walmart's governance system or structure reveals critical flaws in its compliance systems. The compliance team responsible for identifying and addressing ethical issues lacked the autonomy necessary to operate effectively. Conflicts of interest within senior leadership hindered the escalation of bribery related reports. This lack of independence created a culture where unethical practices could be concealed rather than addressed. Moreover, the compliance mechanisms were under resourced and overshadowed by the company's growth focused strategies, further reducing their effectiveness. So that will be all with my part.
So now let's proceed to the identifying key issues. So Walmart executives allegedly paid $24 million in bribes to Mexican officials for store permits. Internal investigations were reportedly obstructed by senior leaders, showcasing a failure of ethical oversight. The compliance team was underpowered and unable to act independently, allowing misconduct to go unchecked. So these are the breaches of fiduciary duties. Loyalty. So the leaders prioritize Walmart's growth over its ethical responsibilities. Number two, care. The board failed to exercise power, due diligence in investigating the bribery allegations. Number three, transparency. Walmart concealed key information from shareholders and regulators for an extended period. So this is these are the stakeholder impact. Number one, the shareholders. So the scandal led to a decline in stock value and damaged investor confidence. Number two, the employees. Internal morale was affected as employees lacked trust in the company's ethical commitment. And last, the customers. Walmart's reputation suffered, potentially affecting customer loyalty and sales. So that's all.
So number three is evaluating decision making. So as management and board decision, whereas the management decision to suppress the bribery investigation reflected short-term thinking and disregard for long-term consequence. Here is the decision of the BOD and the management of the Wellmark is like they decide to um, go for the short term decision that and then the long term consequence of their they made decision. And here is also the board's failure to establish strong compliance mechanism demonstrated ineffective governance. Next is alignment with mission and governance principles. Here, Walmart action were misaligned with its stated commitment to integrity and compliance. The company governance practices failed to uphold its mission and values. Here is the mission and the government governance of the principle of the Walmart here is not met of what they made an action. Whereas in praise here that were misaligned with its stated commitment because uh, the act of the Walmart was likely uh, not connected to their action. And also, next is the ethical consideration. Ethical consideration is where ethical concerns were largely neglected as executive prioritized rapid expansion and financial performance over compliance with anti-corruption laws.
So let's move on to the recommendation for improvement. First is board independence. So this strengthened the board by increasing the number of independent directors and separating the CEO and board chair roles. So a corporation's board of directors is responsible for overseeing its management to ensure unbiased and oversight. It's crucial to have majority of independent directors, those without employment or significant financial ties to the corporation. So separating the rules of CEO who runs the day-to-day operation and the board chairs who leads the board further reduces potential conflicts in interest and strengthen independent oversight. Next is to conduct regular party audits to ensure adherence to governance and anti-corruption standard. So a corporation must maintain ethical and legal compliance. Regular audits by independent firm ensures the corporation follows all relevant governance rules and anti-corruption laws. This audit acts as a external check identifying weaknesses and preventing potential scandals or legal issues.
Next is ethics training. This means teaching people in an organization the right ways to behave and make decisions. It helps them to understand what is good, fair, and honest in their work. Anti-bribery framework. This involves setting rules and systems to prevent bribery. It ensures that employees and the organizations don't give up or accept money or gifts to unfairly influence decisions. And lastly, the incentive alignment. This means creating rewards that encourage employees to act ways that benefit both the company and the society. It ensures that everyone works towards shared and ethical goals. That's all. Thank you.